Hi, this is Myra with Boutique Paint. Today I'd like to talk about storage for your Iron Orchid designed stamps. If you didn't know already, Iron Orchid makes a envelope for your stamps, and they look like this. And they just open up here, slide your stamp in. They have this nice little line across here which you can write the name of your stamp down on. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my swoosh stamp into this. So I'm going to write on here. And I'm using a dry erase marker. And the reason why I'm doing that is because later on down the line, for whatever reason, I have totally used this stamp and I have ruined it or what, or I don't know what circumstances might happen, but you may want to change this out and then you can use it for something else and not have to worry about it. The other thing you could do is to just put a label over the top. So what I do, and I'm gonna, before I move on, I want to show you, this is the stamp now, and I put it in here without putting the piece of plastic, the secondary piece of plastic that comes with it, on top. And this is what happens. Makes it nice and sticky, so it makes it harder to get it in and out of the pouch. It's not impossible, but it does make it a little bit more difficult. So it makes more sense to go ahead and put your piece of plastic back over the top and try to make sure you're pretty well lined up. And then these come with the mass. And what I do is, until I have taken all the little bits and pieces off the mask that it comes on, I go ahead and just leave that in the original plastic that it comes with. But when I start taking the pieces off, then I start putting them into a plastic bag. And then on this plastic bag, and you can see on here I also wrote it because sometimes it's kind of hard to see what that is. Some of them are a little bit harder than others to tell what the masks are. So it's just easier to mark them all. So I like to mark the little bag. Sometimes if they're big pieces, I will use a big Ziploc bag and I will write on it. But since these are smaller, all of these will fit in there. The other thing I like to do, if you've watched any of my other videos, is I like to mark which side it is up, because you're messing with it. With the letters, it's a little easier. You can just visually see, like with the E here, which side is up. It's definitely not that. So, but some of the pieces, especially the larger flowers, like the sunflower or the peony, I struggled trying to figure out which way is what, and you're flipping them all different directions. So this just makes it easier. So you put your extras in there and there, and then you can just slide all of this right into the envelope. And I actually have that in. I'll kind of flip it around so the opening's at the top for that. I made it a little bulky because what I did is I fold the flap for this. I fold it inside so that it's out of my way. There we go. So we just slide it in there and then you snap it. So then you're good to go there. Now I have, before they came out with these, this is a different option. I was keeping them in file folders. And if you have, I'll show you what the plastic container I had them in, but I had them like this. And this one's actually got several different, these are the old styles. But I had them like this, and then I had them hanging. And that worked out okay. sometimes they get caught up, sometimes this, that, and the other thing. Now you can also label these with those things that the tabs that stick out, and I thought I had some, but I looked around and I didn't. But you could label them, or you could just write along the top of this. Now the nice thing about this is if you have like a metal file cabinet, and if you don't and you have room, you could pick one up at a secondhand store. They're usually super cheap. They're super ugly, but you know what to do with super ugly. We paint it, we embellish it, we make it pretty. So that would be one option. And you could get a 2-drawer, or you could get a 4-drawer, depending on how many you have. I can't imagine. I'm not even sure the sisters have enough. Well, maybe they do. I've been with Iron Orchid since they started, and I don't have that many stamps, and I have singles of everything. So, yeah, I don't have that much. I couldn't fill up 2 drawers. Not yet. But you always have to look towards the future, right? So I'm going to disconnect this, and I'll show you how I actually store these. So this is my storage solution for the envelopes. This is, I believe, for craft paper, and it's plastic, and it comes unassembled, and so you have to snap it together. And it has these 3 compartments, which is kind of nice. You can, you could put like your letters in one section, and like the flowers, the big flowers, in another section. But there's 25 stamps in here currently, and some of them are double, so it holds quite a bit. And then you can mark them, and so you can just kind of flip through and see what's what. I don't have mine completely marked yet. The other thing you could do is you could do those little tabs that stick on the outside, and you could it might interfere when you open it, I'm not sure, but you could do something on the tops and mark them that way. And then my solution for the hanging files, I got this, which is from a craft store also, and it's for paper, I believe, and it's got the hanging files. And this is the way I've been storing my stamps, and it works well too. The nice thing about this is if you ever want to take your stamps with you somewhere, you can just grab this whole thing. It's got a lid with a handle, and you can just grab it and go. These also come with the tabs that you can put on the top to stick up to say what the stamp is. I never did mark mine, but you could also write here what each one is. These are my older stamps, the very sought after original Iron Orchid stamps. So some of the oldies but goodies are in here. Anyway, that is my storage solution for stamps. You got 2 options there. If you have any questions about the products that I'm showing you here, or any other questions, you can leave them in the comments below, or you can go to our website at www.boutiquepaint.com, and you can shoot me an email from there. And thank you so much for joining me. Bye.